Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson. Look.
Pay my phone bill, I stay broke. Pay my landlord, I stay broke. Spend $2 on a sandwich, hoping it'll last till the next day. Eat slow, broke. Cook up that good shit, don't step on my dreams. With it though for the tray. We want more money, but the gov won't pay. Let that melanin rain. I rock, I pop it. We cheering Brooklyn, don't ever stop. No justice, it's just us poetically. Hold up, I rock. Bitch, that mind with a grind from the DC. I keep it real, but you niggas never heard of me. I blow your mind, you say Lily, you still ever leave. Lyrically, I make you come. Don't say no to me. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yay. My lips are purple like smoke like every day. You be like,
What's your number, girl?
that's the way.
Show me a little something.
That's the way. Come with your bald head self, girl. Shake what you got since birth, girl. Don't think it, don't think it, don't. I smoke much out my bong bong since day one. We been shitting on them, but I still show the love. Take a picture for them. Show them how it's really done. I don't know about you, but I get your friends some.
Well, we're trying this again. I see you in here. Maybe somebody else will come back.
Oh, man.
Let me welcome y'all. Take two.
Right.
You know who I am. I'm Tiffany, and I'm cutting right to the chase. We're gonna do this with no mixer. My girl Bond is here. My guy Jay is here. We just jumping right into it. Let's talk about what I am presuming to be the league's MVP. Will it be unanimous? Will it not? Who's the fourth place voter? We'll never know. But I'm going to jump in with y'all, and we'll give the guests the first mic. Jay, just go ahead and drop it.
Asia's the MVP. She's the best in the world. Don't get it twisted. Period. But in all seriousness, though, like people are really not appreciating what she's doing. Like, we just never seen nothing like this. Like, even just her accolades coming into the league and what she's doing now each year, she's improving. Was she 27, 28? That's prime sport years. Like, she's already back-to-back champ. She's already, doing her thing, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. She's going to add another one. She should. It may not be unanimous because of the media. We know how that is. It's all good. But, like, we just need to appreciate her. She's not being talked about. It's the playoffs start on Sunday. We don't see nobody talking about. How many segments have y'all seen people talking about her? Like, I just don't see that. So, and I get it because of the draft class, but man, we need to appreciate her, man. We need a whole episode of just her and highlights of what she is and how she carry herself, how she talk. I mean, she hear the noise, she talk about it, but I mean, man, respect that woman. Not no girl, respect that woman. She's a grown woman, grown-ass woman, and she be playing like it. But yeah, go ahead, Bond.
Yeah, like completely unprecedented, season. Incredible efficiency on both sides of the ball. Like her 2024 resume in and of itself. I can't even list all of this because I take up 27 minutes of the program. First in blocks, points, steals, rebounds, stocks, first in PER, win shares, offensive rating. Second, then just a only W player averaging 20 while shooting 50% better. Only W player averaging 25. Only W player with multiple 40. Like it's the way that she's gone about her business. Like you said, Jay, Tiff, I don't know how much more deep we're gonna get into to Asia's season, but you prefaced the start of take one with us, we're going to talk about why she is the MVP.
Right.
Injury, lineup shuffle, and just the pieces around her having to morph consistently through the first half of the season, playing out of position, playing without people, tinkering with her front court partner, whether it be Kia or Big Meg, and she has just remained like the bastion of that organization. Right. Without Asia this season, Vegas is probably very easily struggling for like a 7th, 8th seed. And that's zero shade. That's no shade. Kelsey, that's not Jackie. Right. None of them, and it's the way that she, goes about her business, the humility with which she is as a person. She's consistently, like the last 3 weeks or so, all of her pressers, she's just broken down with how important her teammates are to her. Her teammates have given her nothing but love. And you see this woman who is Asia Wilson, who has stated, sometimes I fucking hate being Asia Wilson. And you get a little bit of a sense of everything that she has had to kind of deal with prior to this season, coming into the season, all of the noise around the W this season, and she has remained steadfast. She has walked with a grace and with a dignity. And when shit got rough, she stripped it all down. All of the bells and whistles gone. I'm white tee. I'm thugging it. And it's time to, really, really go to battle. So Asia is hands down the MVP.
Absolutely.
I think it definitely should be, unanimous. We'll see how that goes.
Right.
But I genuinely feel there has been no more clear a case for an unanimous MVP candidate than what she's done. Diversify her offense from everywhere on the floor, bringing it up.
Yes, let's leap to there, because I want to talk about her ability to score on every level of the court. Yep. Because I feel like that is something that has been missed about her game, whereas she's added the three, but she is dominant when you are inside that circle. There is not a spot on that floor where she just can't get busy. Talk to me a little bit about how you guys see her game, as where her inside outside game has evolved from last season to this season.
Go ahead, Jay.
Well, real quick before I get there, there's one stat I forgot to put out that people don't talk about. Her usage rate is so high that she's only averaging 1.3 turnovers a game. So in my mind, she barely even getting one turnover a game. And she always, if you watch games, that is impressive. For her to not be turning over the ball, that's crazy. That's really insane. But to go back to your question, I feel like now she at that point where in her career, and especially starting this season, where she know every counter you have to stop, she has another counter. So if you want to stop this, you can go here. And it gets to the point where you don't have no more counter swings now at this point. Like, she's seen it all. She know how to get around. Of course, it's going to be tough matchups. People try to talk about matchups where she wasn't scoring the ball. That's hoops. If we watch hoops, that just be like, there's some matchups you're just not going to be as dominant, but you're still dominant. But it's like it's easy. It's not hard to her. It's effortless out there. Everything she does on defense, scoring the ball. If she needs to go score 10 straight, she can go score 10 straight. If she needs to go stop you from scoring a couple possessions in a row, she can do it. And it's like now, it's like at first, from inside out, it was like you didn't know if, we can leave her open. You can't leave her open nowhere now. Like, just absolutely no. It's just crazy how comfortable she is. It goes, even from the start of the season, her jumper wasn't as, I wasn't confident in it. But now it's like, if she got it, I feel like it's going in every time. And then if she get the ball on the block, you can't do nothing with her. The little step through she be doing, all that. If she's not rushed, it's curtains for them, curtains for everybody. So I just love watching her. It's like, I be amazed every time, and I shouldn't be, but I'm glad I live in that moment of being excited, because I feel like in sports, we just don't. We get used to seeing it. And it's not fair to players like her to not, be praising her or giving her flowers in a season like this.
No, you're absolutely right. To the point about, just what she's doing in her game offensively. The finishing around the rim, we know she's left-handed. We know she's a southpaw. You give her left, she's going to take the left. You cut her left off, she's more comfortable coming back right. She has the step through. She has the spin. She's bringing the ball up the floor. She's getting them into like their pistol action. They're bringing her off of their away series, which is an off the ball stagger series. She's coming off of stags for them. She's coming off of pin downs, and she's curling. You said you sometimes, maybe weren't sure about the jumper. I don't know about that. Like, we've seen her in catch and shoot moments where it's felt pretty automatic, but coming into this season, she's shooting off of more motion. She's shooting off of more patterns. She's shooting off of, like I said, off of pin downs. She's coming into just all of these different spots on the floor with a different level of confidence, knowing that she can get to whatever she needs to get to. If her driving angles aren't there, she has the turnaround. She has the fade. She's shooting threes. You don't really see her much, and she's shooting above the break threes. She's not someone who finds herself spaced out into the corner a bit, but in their pick and pop stuff, in her fading, she's shooting, she's letting it fly from the wing, from the top. There's just a full, her arsenal just continues to kind of have things added to it, and it feels as if it almost shouldn't be able to. When I chopped it up with Steve and Akai a little bit ago, and Steve made a great point. He's like, it's not supposed to continue to stack this way. There is a continued advantage gains. There is a continued increase in skill and in her development. And she's just year after year continuing to lay upon what's already an incredibly solid foundation. Offensively, you not really going to be able to do too much with her. You put 4 on her, she kicking it out, getting it right back, and she is the most dominant force in basketball right now.
Pick your poison
Man,
with her.
she right. You don't know where it's coming from. She more dominant than what's happening tonight with our production. I don't know what's going on tonight.
Man,
but
it's
listen,
all right.
We just gonna keep it. We gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. So what? I want to kind of put a pin on this. Because we at this point we know what we're getting from her. Right, we'd be remiss to think that she's not showing up prepared.
Right.
What do we think we're gonna get from her teammates
over the last 5 to 7 games? Vegas has refound themselves defensively, and I think that is one of the biggest indicators of what they should hope
hold
to.
Hold up. Time out.
Oh man.
What we don't do, get rid of this asshole. We don't come in here, we don't slander women, we don't do any of that. So what we gonna do is we don't have those people in this chat. So what you might want to do is you might want to pack up your small ass suitcase.
Oh man.
And go somewhere else. We don't do that.
Not again.
So don't come in this chat. Don't come in the chat with that. We don't do that.
No.
We don't do that.
Certainly not. I don't even know what's happening, but certainly not.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Bon.
No, I think what you can expect from her teammates is just a continued tightening of the bolts. Like I said, the last 5 to 8 games, they found their defensive footing. They have kind of re-established their defensive connectivity. And that is what is going to be needed out of that group going into the playoffs. The offense, offense can be hit or miss, offense can be shaky, but defensively, they need to be able to stop people. They need to be able to keep people in front of them. They need to be able to keep the ball out of the paint. They need to be able to be in the lanes, to pressure balls, to navigate screens well. And I think you continue to see just the coalescing of the pieces around her defensively. And as long as that continues to be a thing, Vegas will be who, Vegas kind of has been. The league around them has stepped it up. There's more to contend with, but their base is their base. And as long as they continue to lock in, we're in for a show.
Okay.
Definitely.
So I want to kind of move through a little bit quicker because we've had some setbacks, but I want to kind of talk about Marina and that trade. Because I'm curious as to what you guys think about it, and I know what I think about it, and how much you think the Sky missed her, and how much you think Connecticut needed her. Bon, why don't you go?
Oh, I do think Chicago misses her. I though wasn't a particular fan of some of the ways that she was utilized with Chicago. I think she had a lot of on-ball responsibility that kind of sucked some of the life away from some of the other Chicago guards, and also I think just kind of didn't set her up to be best utilized in what the Chicago system was. Chicago needed spacing. They needed someone to be able to kind of catch and kick Spoon was kind of using her, like I said, real on ball, and like you're not getting the impact from this spacer that you know should be able to get. With Connecticut, they have so many other people who can hub their offense. They have so many other people who can facilitate, who can move the ball. You have Alyssa, who was moving the ball, but they're still playing off of her 6-7 feet. So that's shrinking their amount of space that they have to work with in the half court. You got Marina on the wing now. You can't pack in so tightly. She's a great cutter. She's a good body, and she's an active defender. I have loved Marina with Connecticut, and as soon as it kind of was announced, I thought it made all the sense for Connecticut in the world.
Okay.
Excuse me. Are you good? So for me,
Jay.
I was already irritated. I was already irritated with the Sky being a Sky supporter anyway. I feel like we ain't been trying to win since 21 when we won? 21, 22? I forget when we won, but when they won, I feel like they haven't been trying to win anyway. But I agree with everything Bon was saying, that they wasn't really using her right. And in Connecticut, that is like the most made sense trade for real. Like all they can do, they needed somebody to spread the floor. That's it.
Right.
You know, so I feel like not saying they're going to get over the hump and win, but it helps them a lot, that trade. So it's like, it helps big time. It gives them a big time advantage, because you go into the playoffs and they can just pack into the paint or shrink the floor. I mean, it's going to help. It's going to make your half court really, stagnant.
And it's funny because you mentioned her movement, Bon. Since she's been in Connecticut, she is so crisp at her cuts to the basket and just her duck-ins. I mean, all her movement flows so well with that team. And you're right. These are a lot of things, I guess, I didn't see when I watched her play with Chicago earlier this year. And like you said, she was on ball a lot. I think also, but that also can be a question. Why was she on ball so much?
Flawed team.
You mean like flawed roster? Is that like it's poorly constructed? I see that a lot, and I agree with it in pieces. I think the Chicago backcourt is really small between Dana Evans, Lindsay Allen. You brought in Mo Jefferson. You have 3 teeny guards, right? And so, people have different, I guess, philosophies with how they want to use a shooter. Some people will put a shooter on ball. I feel like if I can give you a ball screen, right? My big defender is playing in a drop. I got space there to kind of pop. That stagnates you a little bit too. And I just feel like with Connecticut, again, they run more of a flowy type style of offense, but they have weapons at kind of every position. And I would be really interested in like picking Teaspoon's brain and kind of what is it that she envisioned Marina's role to be, kind of with Chicago under her, away from how James Wade wanted to use Marina. But again, with Connecticut, she can just fit in and just be a highly functioning piece of a well-crafted whole.
Not asking her to do too much.
Right. I think that because it also enables her to, if this makes sense, do more.
Yeah.
Without asking her to do too much, she's able to do more on the court in different spots. What do
There's
you?
a freedom. There's a peace in the mind. That like,
where you don't feel as heavy. Exactly. It's this whole last 2 minutes isn't on my shoulders.
Right.
Controlling the ball like that in them stressful situations, boy. Everybody watching you control this ball. And thinking too much.
Right. Do you think she is the missing piece
for Connecticut?
Connecticut. Because they've been knocking on the door. So is this the point where it opens? Or is there something still missing? And I don't mean by way of any other team, because we know other teams got better. I'm just saying, looking at them, who they have now, and their path to the championship, is she the missing piece?
I would say, I don't know if I say missing, but at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have. I said that he needed something. I didn't know what it needed to make it to the champion, to make it to the finals. And I wouldn't say that's a lot putting it all on her. Like if they don't, it's like, oh, that was a bad trade. But it was like she's gonna give them she gave them a hell of a better chance to get to the finals because of what we said previously. Like spreading the floor is just huge, especially in today's basketball world. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't want to put all that pressure on her, but she can get them over the hump to get to the finals and win. I think she can. What you think?
What do you think, Bon?
I think it's a combination. So you missed the floor spacer, so you've added that now. Bree Jones went down real early for them last year. So you've added a spacer, you've added a paint presence who commands attention in a way that pulls attention from others. So you open up the space for your spacer to get kind of good looks. And then they've we as Heat fans, we know the term internal development all too well, right? But
yes we do.
Girl, child, we be hanging hats on internal development. What kind of build houses with internal development?
God.
But Connecticut has had a great deal of internal development, namely the steadying and the confidence gaining of Ty Harris. But biggest, I think, in my opinion at least, piece of internal development for Connecticut has been Dejanay Carrington, who is one top three MIP candidate. Dejanay has upped her game in a way that has made them a more dynamic group. She's added so much more to kind of how they can approach their offense. So with Dejanay, with an improved Ty, with Bree back, and now with the Marina, I think that they have a more perfect storm of supporting cast to then kind of get them over the hump.
Okay,
I agree.
I do too. I think it'll be interesting to see also because I look at them and think they have a lot of weapons and they have a lot of.
She disappeared on us.
Oh man, she froze.
You're frozen. We can get it.
I mean, I agree with her. I'm not sure the rest of kind of where she wanted to go with it. I do look at Connecticut and think that they do have a lot of weapons, and it's just been about, kind of again continuing to piece it all together.
Yo,
and
you just got to.
I got you.
Listen,
I got
me.
I got you.
Everything decided not to work today,
man.
So you know when to jump in. You said yes. You know what to do. We gonna piece this together. We gonna piece this together tonight.
What were you saying though? You think they have weapons, but
right?
What?
So I do. When I watch Connecticut play, I really feel like they're a team that can come at you from all angles on the court. Like they have someone they can put anywhere and go get a bucket or go get a stop. But we also know in the playoffs that roster shrinks. So I want to see how she uses her players, and I guess how far she's willing to go into the bench to kind of keep that kind of cohesion and that harmony going throughout the playoffs. So that's something I'm curious about.
Yep.
That's definitely something big to watch.
Yeah. But we had 2 rookies.
Yes.
Both seasons ended prematurely. One way prematurely than the other one. But Angel and Cameron.
Yes. Big Brink.
We didn't get to see too much. So I'm not gonna really dive into that too much. Hopefully she gets healed up and she's ready to go by the time the season starts. But we could talk a little bit about Angel and how you guys thought the season went, where you think she'll be going as far as the next level of her game next season, and what do we think Chicago needs to add in order to, one, help amplify her game, to make sure that you are getting the utmost you can from her and Camilla.
Yeah.
Jay, what are you thinking?
This is a soft spot for me with this the team building for the Chicago Sky. So for those that don't know, I was really big on just wanting the Sky to get Angel Reese and Rickea Jackson, and I was just salty.
So was someone else on this panel.
My God,
I was
today.
butthurt. Let me just start by saying, like, you go trade, Kyle to the Mercury. So I'm like, hey, I know we about to give Rickea Jackson. I already know Angel's falling to 7. I know she gonna be there. And we get here. I'm hearing all this talk about Camilla. I'm like, yo, this is not gonna make no sense to me. And I felt like I like Camilla, but I felt like for our roster and just trading away Kyle, we should never even went that route. Going Rickea and Angel would have helped a lot of our issues now. Like we have nobody really that we're gonna get a bucket whenever they want to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the one I feel like we need that. I don't know what we can even get in the draft to help Angel, or I gotta look at the free agency, what we're gonna do there. I just never know what route the Sky is going ever. Like I just never know what they thinking, what they feeling, what they trades, what they sign. So I need somebody, because her natural thing is she is not going to, especially Angel. She's not going. I feel like she's a Joakim Noah, and I say it's like she's unorthodox, but she's gonna give you everything. If she's gonna give you 15 and 20, it's gonna be the hardest 15 and 20, and that opponent is gonna feel it. But she just needs some soldiers with her. And I feel like, and then Camilla has come around a lot for me, but they need some guards that's going to help them get the ball, because they're not going to. Angel can get the rebound and go down the court, but we don't want her doing that. We don't want Camilla doing that. Because Camilla can run the court well. Like she's showed that a lot this season. Like towards especially that second half, it's like she got her legs under her and she was running the court well. So I feel like if we can get somebody, we just need somebody to help, because we get the ball to Angel so she can do her thing, and I feel like Angel's gonna be fine. People talk about her game. She don't get in the weight room. A lot of people don't realize you graduate, well, not even graduate, you had a tournament, then you got the draft, and then you got camp. So you don't even have time to even work on your body to get your pro body. You got to get used to all this travel. Like, I get it's college, and college is different, but it still ain't the pros, because you're grown now. Like, you're not even. So it's like she's gonna get her body. So I feel like people talking about her game there, that's gonna develop. What she got? She in the 14, 15 right now without a bag, they say. So it's like she can figure. You know what I'm saying? She can figure that out. We get some guards. I can get her the ball. We can get some gelling going with her and Camilla. Now we have them. I think we'd be fine if they go do that. Like I said, I just never know what they gonna do. I just never know. So we'll see. I don't know, Bon, what you think they should do to help Angel and Camilla?
So back it up a little bit. I will agree with you about the draft, and not necessarily Angel and Rickea. I wanted one of the 3 bigs between Angel, Camilla, and Aaliyah Edwards. And Rickea.
Okay. I can go with that.
But so Angel and Camilla, right? Camilla was hurt to begin the season. Shoulder thing, has never dealt with an injury like that before. Took some out of her mentally. I think that given that, though, they did kind of handicap themselves only a bit, just in their spacing. You have 2 rookie non-spacing bigs. You have a traditional, you got a real ass 4 and 5.
Yeah,
but then you have two little guards. Again, whether it's Lindsay, Dana, or Mojo now at your 1 and 2. And I agree with the departure of Kalia, someone who could get in the middle third of the half court, someone with some rip ability, someone with some burst, someone with some explosion. There had been a little bit, I'll touch on why it's a little gone now, but there had been such a disconnect, in my opinion, between the top half of the Chicago offense and the post, right? I think that moving forward, they have to get some spacing around them. They have to get some shooters around them, but I think that they need to get someone else to your point about Kennedy, who is dynamic off the bounce. And Spoon, you got a rookie head coach.
Yes, that's another thing people don't talk about.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
She's figuring it out too, right? You got, again, 2 traditional ass bigs, 2 little guards, and a rookie coach. You missed Kalia was 70. Kalia was like 30% of their offense. You lost Kalia, you lost Marina, you had all of this roster turnover. So I think Chicago is in a good spot now to kind of settle into how is it that they want to play? What do they want to look like? Angel will get better. Angel's fine. Right. She's got to work on her biomechanics. She's got to work on some of her ability things. She's got to work on her finishing. Everything else, though, she mostly has. The shot will come. She's confident off the bounce. Will kick it out. Relentless on the boards. Once Chicago figures out what they want their identity to be, it can't just be all the posts. You got to be able to kind of mix it up. Right. Once they get that, I think they'll be okay.
Yes,
they were ahead of schedule this year. True,
I was gonna say
they were in the playoffs until Angel got hurt. For
exactly, and I feel like, and that's the thing where all of a sudden, I've been hearing all these things about the Sky. We didn't do this, we didn't do that. Well, winning masks a lot of things. You were never doing any of those things all season,
but you were winning.
Like we got to be honest, like. You weren't really knocking teams in the head all season. You were winning, but you weren't this dominant fixture of the league. So the winning masked a lot of the things that now I think people have complaints with. But like you said, you are ahead of schedule. Yes. Because if nothing else, you can walk away and say, you know what you have in Angel and what she should do or what you feel as a team she should do to move forward. You know what you have in Camilla. You know what you have in Kennedy. And then go ahead, Bon. Go ahead.
Me personally, for the rest of their roster.
Say the name. Say the name that I know you want to say.
Michaela or Izzy? Which one?
I thought you were going to say Michaela.
Michaela Onyeweather. She is a big body 3 who Spoon has finally begun to kind of play more in the Ka-ish roles, just like in the middle, again, the middle third of their half court.
Right.
Expansion draft coming up.
Right.
I would like Michaela and Izzy to be kind of part of those kept pieces.
Right. So you're ahead of schedule. You know what you have, and I feel like in comparison to a couple of other teams in the league, I guess no one wants to hear this now, but you are in a really good position.
You guaranteed a lottery pick. Like
you are in a really good position moving forward where you're not the doldrums of the basement. You are literally,
I was just talking about this. Yes. Yes. For real. People don't understand. Like it was gonna be fun for the Sky to make the playoffs, and it sucks that Angel got hurt, but it was like a blessing in disguise because I feel like we would have got that experience at the HC or whatever HC we would have been, but I'd rather be in the lottery one more year.
Right.
Get another, younger player and build with this roster. And a lot of people here, especially on Twitter, was just calling for a teaspoon's head. Like, she's a rookie. Everybody's learning on the fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have no practice time. This ain't high school. They all trying to learn.
They building the plane and flying it at the same time.
At the same damn time. That is
and they should have some cap space. Like, I took a quick glance at their cap sheet. They should have some room to kind of attract a decent size name piece, whatever.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So
I feel like it's an attractive spot now because of Angel.
Listen, I was there at a game. It was popping. It was popping. We was in there. It was popping.
One thing I will say about
that game was crazy. That game was nuts.
If you're good, yes, you will. We're gonna definitely show out.
Right.
If you work hard here, yes.
And I'll wrap it up with this. I will say, one of the most pleasant arenas I've been in with the fans.
I'm glad to hear that. That's one of our newer stadiums too.
No, what you mean?
What do you mean?
Listen, by that?
I've been to various arenas, and I've been to various arenas in the country.
Right.
And
I hear you.
I've heard some things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
hey. Yeah.
So to be in that arena with a 9-year-old, and I have to put the earmuffs.
Right.
That's good
So,
though. That's good.
Exactly. So that is, I appreciate that 100% and look forward to my next game in Chi-Town.
Shout out to the Chicago fans. Shout out to y'all because we
There
don't
you
be
go.
that nice all the
Now-
time.
No, y'all don't. And and going up the road, we gonna take this segue on up the road to Indiana. We're gonna take this segue on over. Yes, we're gonna segue to Indiana, and we're gonna talk about Miss Clark making some waves. So let's talk about it, because she had the whole season experience.
Yeah.
From
yo
her play day one to her play the last day of the season. I mean, she literally gave you everything. She started somewhere and she ended somewhere. So let's talk a little bit about what we saw, how by the end of the season, her progression, just as honestly, we're going to take it to just an overall basketball player.
Yeah.
The progression that you saw. Bon, what did you see from Caitlin by the time the season ended?
So by the time we got here, she, there is a comfort that you didn't see to begin, which you kind of expected, coming into Big Girl League, as a cat with all of this stuff kind of surrounding you, right? There's automatically a level of, all right, get here and, we'll see, what that really is about. Right. And there was some contact things that she had to adjust to. There was some pace of play. There were some decision making things that she had to completely kind of tighten. Her coach, Christy Sides, she had to do a number in adjusting the way that the Indiana Fever were going to approach their offense. That the Iowa offense, the Caitlin bomb first, kind of everyone else kind of get in where they fit in type, that wasn't going to work in the W. And I think that you saw it early on, right? Caitlin was kind of getting her numbers, assists being a part, turnovers being a large part also, but she was having her things. But the Fever weren't experiencing success until Christy Sides made her and made herself, be more concerted in the inclusion of the rest of that team. You got Leah Boston, you have Nalissa Smith, you got Kelsey fucking Mitchell, and you have
say her name again.
You got Kelsey fucking Mitchell, you got Lexi Hall, and you have people. She has a team now, right? You can't ice the rest of that team out. So she started handling the doubles better. She started holding her dribble, making better decisions, making quicker decisions. Aaliyah went from looking one way to a completely different way by the end of the season too. Their synergy got better, and now the Cats are running. It's fun. Like Indiana plays a fun brand of ball. All Caitlin got to do is put that hole in the money and just be ready, finish, move it. Defensively they've come along. So I think Caitlin, the word dominate, I don't think ever needed to be a part of the prediction for what she was going to look like, but she was always going to have a particular level of command that was going to be tough to deal with. She has an incredible wiggle. She has a vision, and she began to then put the middle part of her game together too. It was either bomb away from three, get to the cup. She got her intermediary game, and then I think you saw that with the inclusion of the rest of the Fever. They are in a great spot. They're a loaded group. Like they have a lot of talent. They got the last 2 first-round picks, like the last 2 like second-round picks. Like they have talent. And she has stirred that group really, really well. And I'm excited to see what they look like as they continue to cohere as a team inside that locker room.
I agree with everything. And to all the people that get mad at us for saying that she's a better passer, that don't mean we don't think she's a good scorer. Her passing, look, that's what, of course, her scoring got the highlights at Iowa, but her passing was ridiculous. Like she's going to put it in the shooting pocket every time. Like it's just amazing how she can pass. And like you said, she has a team around her now where you can't just lock in on her, and she's figuring it out how to play this game. That the Olympics was the best thing. She got to relax. Her not going helped her, so she had to relax take a step back, talk to playing with her coach, her teammates. They can figure this shit out, and you can see it. You can see it now.
Watch
She's
some tape, get some rest.
Absolutely got some rest. Now with media, I talk to media every damn day. Just watch some film, learn, relax, and go from there. She's a smart player. And but how long was Olympics? Olympics 3 weeks? You got to be off for 3 weeks? About a month? Come on, man. No. And you can see it. So now I had a friend of mine, she actually my co-host, she was like, man, the Fever actually reminded me of when the Aces was being built. I was like, damn. Cause they keep getting all this. You're gonna get back getting all these, top 3 picks, first overall pick. They're going to jail at some point. And it kind of, I can see where she was going with that, because now you got Caitlin Clark, who was like that piece. They got her now. Because people was trying to throw dirt on Aaliyah Boston name. Like, hold on, chill out, man. He was a rookie last year as well. They all got to figure this out. Now everybody eating pro now. Everybody quiet. Everybody is like, I ain't talking about the people who's being ridiculous about Caitlin Clark. I'm talking about the people who really was like, is she really that good? Like, yeah, she's that good. Like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Funniest thing, but what's funny, Jay, is that at the beginning of the season, I was having a conversation with Bond, and I said to her, she don't have a floater. Like, she don't have anything she can get to. And once we came back from the Olympic break, it was there. It was there. She's been working on it, because you're not getting all the way to the rack every night on everybody. You got to find something else.
You got to, especially in the playoffs.
Exactly. And she showed that she is constantly working on her game by coming back with, let's just say that's all she came back with. It doesn't matter. You just showed us that you took the time to work on something.
That's the thing. Showing you that you're going to work. If you could do that in a month, you could do that. What's she going to do in the offseason when she's, come on, man. Like, that's the scary thing.
Keeping it being. It's more work for her to do. There's more work for her to do defensively. There are
there's so much more work. And that's how she should feel. That's how she should feel. Like she should feel like I got more to do. Because we can talk about how good they are and how young they are and how they look poised to, like, it's in the near future get over that hump. They're okay defensively.
They are. They're getting better.
They're getting better, but they're not stout. They're not stout. Like, that's the one thing I will say, because I've seen them be very good for 2 minutes, and then there's a 3-minute span where you can get that 20-0 run if you really try, because things just kind of slowly dissipate. But I will agree wholeheartedly. They're fun. All of a sudden, they became really fun to watch.
No, it's a lot of fun.
That arena is fun to be in. It's a little depending on how you feel about whatever. But like the arena itself, there's
I know what you're saying.
There's an energy in that building, and like they are pumped, like they are excited to come out and like do their thing.
No, and I mean, listen. You use all the intimidation factors you got. Like, if you listen, they make you feel like Scott's tots when you come in there. So I don't, I don't know.
What you gonna do?
I don't know. But
my God.
I'm excited to see them in the playoffs. I'm excited to see what they what they look like in this series. Just see what they do. Win or not. Listen, how long it's been since they've been there? So
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
So you got to get in the door before you can dance. So
definitely. This is definitely good for them. They 20-20 this year. That'll work for them.
We'll see. But question.
Answer.
What was, because I'm thinking about Indiana, but let's not have Indiana be anybody's answer since we just finished with them.
Okay.
What was the most surprising thing to you this season? Jay.
Most surprising thing.
Yes,
Okay.
about the season. What was the most surprising thing?
Minnesota. I had Minnesota like, first of all, I definitely didn't have Minnesota being no 30-10, no 2 seed. I tell you that. And it just kept getting better and better and better. And it's like after the break, it was like, oh, they're not stopping. They are here. They are trying to win. They're trying to make some noise. So they definitely, I can easily go with somebody else probably, but for sure Minnesota. They the ones that, because I didn't have them making the playoffs. So that's just me. I don't know if Bond did or anybody else. I was just shocked. Like they 30-10. I was not expecting that to happen for them this year. So that's the squad I'm going with.
Okay. What about you, Bond?
Are we talking happy surprises? Or are we talking?
Oh, I didn't even ask that. That's
happy surprises.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, happy surprises.
I'd probably touch on Minnesota too. I think offensively they have had the dynamicism kind of in their pieces between Fee and K-Mac, Dorka last year. But the rest of that roster and the way it's come together, the Bridget Carrollton, Alana Smith, Techia Zandalusini, they have a group and they work defensively. Like Fee had an anecdote earlier about coming into the season and Cheryl Reeve the whole first week, nothing but defense. And Fee was like, hold on, Holiday, like this ain't how we this ain't how we typically approach stuff. But it served them so well. They are so well connected defensively. They're so disciplined. Yeah. They're so disciplined defensively. Shout out Cheryl Reeve, fellow LaSalle legend. But she has them playing such a beautiful brand of ball kind of on both sides of the ball. So I'd go with Minnesota. And I'd also, I think, go with I don't want to say Connecticut has been surprising because again, they're kind of consistently right there for whatever reason. But I think the fact that they are again still right there, like they have been fairly dominant over the course of, last 2-3 years or whatever. But again, kind of right there at the step. And then Dijonay and all of them kind of coming together and really, really feeling like, all right, this, we might can do it this year. So I'd probably go Minnie and Connecticut. No shade to no one else.
Okay. I'll just throw mine out there quickly that on the last day of the season, we had people fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Like that is fun.
It's been competitive all season.
Like that is fun. That brings people to the yard. Like this is what you want to see. You want to see competitive games. You want to see games that mean something.
Yep.
So that for me, I thought that was great. But where I gave you your candy, you gotta take your medicine.
Man, what?
What did you find that was underwhelming? And I'm gonna start.
Do it.
Because I've been sitting on.
Don't take my answer. You better not take my answer. You take my answer, we'll fight.
I got levels to this.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
So I had stated previously on take one that while I am an avid watcher, I don't really pod on the W. I don't do any of this, but my kid said you should pod on the W. So this is where I'm at, podding on the W. So we're going to talk about some things that I found a little strange. And you guys have been around it a little bit longer. So maybe you can help me out of the doldrum that I'm in when I think about this league. Okay. So
go.
It's 7 days in the week. Why I got 12 games on Tuesday.
I don't know where she going.
Why I got 12 games on Tuesday and no games on Wednesday. Okay, that's number one. Why it's so hard for me to get said app to watch these games. That's number two. Number three, why am I finding players that I enjoy on my own doing research? Why are we not talking about these people? Why are we not getting player profiles? Why don't I know who some of these players are? And I turn on the TV and so is dropping behind the back passes. They doing this. They mixing folks up. I mean, if you're showing me someone can come down, hezzy, tween, 3 off 1 foot, and it go in, I should just see that as I'm scrolling. Like,
shout out Enrique.
Shout out Enrique.
Shout out, right?
I'm trying to understand.
We know exactly who you're talking about.
Right. I'm trying to understand the piss poor marketing of the league. I'm trying to understand. You knew that the players that were coming in this year had hella fan bases that people wanted to see. So explain to me why I had to see on my timeline scheduled Aces and whoever, 7 o'clock. Indiana, whoever, 7 o'clock. Seattle, whoever, 7 o'clock. What happened? Because if you want people to be involved in the league, we should be able to watch multiple players at different times. I shouldn't have to pick and say, okay, do I want to watch Caitlin? Do I want to watch Asia? Do I want to watch Sky Diggy? Like, I should be able to watch all of them.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the point. And I'm going to tell you something to be very truthful. I did not know she was balling until about 4 weeks into the season because I got to choose. And if I got to choose,
and it don't help that she in the north. It doesn't help that she all the way up there in the northwest.
It's already in a market that isn't.
Right. It's already past my bedtime. Right?
Yeah, she already somewhere all the way up there by Vancouver.
It's past my bedtime, and you telling me I got to choose Sky Diggy or Asia. So because I don't know what to do. So I need y'all to help me figure this out. Was it like this?
Go ahead, Jay.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's kind of like how MLB is. Like MLB is getting better. Like they have terrible marketing, and the same thing with here. Like you have an app. Like you could make it easy for everybody, but they don't. I mean, the biggest complaint is the game times. Like, yo, everybody playing at one time. Like it's a March Madness. That's basically what it is. It's like you said, people gotta pick and choose. But I hope that, like kind of with baseball, like the fans, the younger fans, the newer fans, to complain a lot where they had to put in shit like the pitcher clock, speed up the game. I'm just showing different examples of what fans complained about and how to make things better. Broadcasting baseball games. Because baseball got a thing where they got blackouts. So we over here, hopefully with the new rookie classes and all them and the new fans, hopefully people will complain and we getting more and more teams that will help, where in the NBA, we got all those teams where they do have so many games going on at one time, but it'd be games that we don't care about. And the primetime games gonna be the ones that we will care about, you know? So hopefully with us adding, we add more teams that we'll get it to the point where, even though we got 14 now, right? 14 teams,
currently,
12 teams,
like playing this season.
12. So like hopefully
the Bay,
but
Toronto.
I still feel like even if we only have 12, you shouldn't just put all games on one day. Like you got to be able to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to, because like the schedule be so wrong. I feel like at one point in the season, I was seeing the same teams the Liberty didn't play for like 3 weeks. It felt like, it was like, I haven't seen them on nowhere. Like
you're right.
I just don't get it. So I just hopefully where it's getting to be more exposure, that they see this, we get more complaints. We're adding more teams. We adding these markets where it will get better. You know, we are getting more money for them to throw stuff into like the app, make it easier. I mean, the app is still cheap, but there's only so much you can do in there. You know, it's not like really interactive. Like the NBA app is kind of interactive, man. It's still harder to go through, but we need stuff like that because you got to think it's newer age. It's all about technology. If they can't get to it quick, they're going to be complaining. So it's just hopefully they figure out the marketing. But it's always been like this. It's always been hard to to watch them, to actually know, like, you got games on like CBS Network. Who has that network?
See, that's not fair though. Like, so I'm with you. Like it has always been a level of difficulty, but there at one point, and you see it now, you have Ion, you have Prime now. There are more platforms that are showing W games. Back in the day, W games was on Lifetime, and like that shit was fine. Like that was cool. It, like you're laughing
for women.
But it was easy though.
Exactly.
But it was easy.
What?
It was easy
for women.
Television for women.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was easy.
It's a little disheartening because your comment about like, you know, people making complaints. People have been asking for what the W has decided to do, has stepped into doing for a while. We don't got to get too deep into it, but there are so many different things that the W, I feel like, has, you know, kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit. Coming into the season, to your point, you knew what this rookie class was. You should have known, I'll say, you should have had some ears to the street, and how the tone of some of these conversations and some of these things had been happening in the NCAA coming into the W. You should have been watching, like, okay, I'm seeing this faction of fans, that's a little contentious. They're going to follow this one here. They're following this one here. How are we getting, the question to Kathy, how are we getting ahead?
Oh my God. Yeah.
And they kind of weren't ahead. To the marketing bit of it though, like it personally, it feels like the W has, in this newer era of itself. Again, W back in the day, like them old Lynx games used to be crazy. The old Comets games, the old Shop games, the old Spark games.
Yes.
Like the W has seen itself kind of have success. And then there was what felt like this lull. And now it feels like they're starting to like take themselves serious again. And it's like you shouldn't have not. The thing about scheduling, about was it this bad? Yes and no. Last year, with the introduction of Ion Fridays, right? You got 4 games, let's say. This year, all 4 games is on at 6:00. Last year, it felt like there was at least a cascade. There was a 3 o'clock game, a 4 o'clock game, a 5 and a 6. The W plays 10-minute quarters. I can get through a half in that hour. So you started me at 3, cool. I'm watching that first half. Game started at 4, cool. I can jump in at that, right? This year, I don't know why it feels like everything is on kind of all at the same time. I do hope that they kind of get a handle on that, because these women deserve their shine. It shouldn't feel like we are being made to pick who it is that we want to watch. And then with those numbers, with that data, all of these other kind of narratives and conversations are being spun. I think that's it's done a huge disservice to themselves. And so I do hope that moving forward, they just have the wherewithal to just space stuff out a bit more, so that we're not feeling like we have to pick between all of these marquee games. Jay, you said, I'm gonna land a plane. Jay, you said, you know, it's 12 teams. That is more, it's so small. There feels like more of a reason
to spread it out.
To be spreading it out.
Yes.
Right.
Well, in the NBA, you got 42 and a half teams. We don't care about Charlotte and Houston on a Tuesday night. Like, that's fine. That's fine. But you got Caitlin at one time, Asia at the same time, Satu and Enrique at the same time. Like, so, you know, like I do hope that they, you know,
I think
smooth that out.
I think for me, and I'll just say this like on the personal note, because I have gotten my daughter into watching the games. So I like her getting a chance to watch all the teams, because she gets to look at different people, and different also
styles,
I was going to say, and it helps her figure out what she likes and who she likes in a player, and teams and things like that, instead of it just being this what I like, so this what you watching, because she, you know, if you're trying to bring in new fans, and when I say new fans, I mean 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 10-year-olds, because those 10-year-olds become 15, become 20, and they become fans or players. So they also need the opportunity to be able to have that purview of the league, to be able to say, oh, on Monday, I watch Fee. On Tuesday, I got to watch Alyssa Thomas. Just it helps shape them become honestly good sports fans.
Yes.
Instead of I kind of felt like this season you're forcing me to watch teams.
You're forcing stand culture. You're like enabling this.
Right.
Yes.
So you're forcing it. You're forcing it on us. And it just didn't seem genuine the way that it was set up this year. It seemed like someone had a scrap sheet of paper in their car with a half a cup of coffee, jotted something down, ran into the office and said, "Here."
No, for real. They definitely look like they look like they saw draft night and was like, "Oh shit,
we're in for some shit that we weren't prepared for," and I don't understand why we weren't prepared. So again,
that's what
take
it feels
this
like.
season. You got Paige coming in. You got Juju. You got all these.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get it right.
Learn from your mistakes.
Yes. I will say this real quick. YouTube TV, they do have a thing like multi-view. So if you do have YouTube TV, you can watch them all. It will only be 4 games on your screen, but I mean that's a way you can do it. But I mean, still,
honestly,
you trying to give my kid ADHD? We ain't doing that.
Right, I gotta watch.
You trying to give you trying to have my 9-year-old. You trying to give my 9-year-old seizures? No. I'm not doing that.
I definitely try with football. I can't do it. Yeah, it's too much happening. It's like
Jordan, what you doing, mommy? I'm watching the whole W.
The whole W.
Mommy, the W.
The whole
tonight.
W.
The whole
baby,
everybody.
Right, but how else you can't create a new fan like that either. There is no focus. There is no, there is no pointing out. Oh my God, did you see what somebody did? No, girl, because that's in box number 2. And I'm not looking at box number 2.
No, seriously. My group chat be like that. Be like, I don't know what you're watching. I'm watching this game. I missed it. I gotta go. I don't know. Like,
right.
I don't.
Right. So I'm sorry.
Very last thing. The W app too. I feel like people are having different experiences with the W app. The W app that we have on the TV, they do have a multi-view option, and they do have like some of the old classic games archived.
They will.
I'd be watching like old games, and I don't know if it's the entirety of like whole seasons, like whole previous seasons, but they have a great bit of, you can go watch Skylar at Tulsa. You can go watch, all of these kind of classic types of things. So I don't know. They have the space.
Mine don't got none of that.
Build it out.
I hate that for you too, but I'm actually, because I know a lot of times people like the NBA app, the W app, people like to go on the computer all the time. I was like, man, the apps on the TV work so much better than it does on the web browser.
Yes, it does.
So a lot of stuff you're missing out, or it's crashing on the browser where it's going to work better on your TV. So I would definitely suggest that when it comes to sporting apps, use your TV if you can.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hijacked all of that. I just had a little.
No, you're good.
I had that rage. Ooh.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure a lot of people got that same question. Yeah, a lot of people got that same question.
I had that hate in my heart that I had to get out. I had to get that hate out. But please, if you guys have what you want to add where you felt that it just wasn't quite right. That could be a team, that could be a player, whatever. Bond. It just wasn't quite right.
Man. So I know one of the 2 pieces of this team missed a considerable amount of time. But the Dallas Wings have way too much on paper, or at least had, folks is going into free agency now.
I think so.
The Dallas Wings, I don't think so. Natasha Howard, I think is gone. I don't.
You saw what she said Dallas, today. I think she's all gone.
That's what I think Natasha is gone. If Dallas is smart, they don't let Satu get away. But
they're smart.
I'm not sure what exactly kind of isn't clicking. Letitia Tremel is a defensive-minded coach. They have pieces. You got the 2 bigs. You got Big T. You got Kalani Enrique. You had Natasha. You got Satu. You got Maddie Segrist. Dallas has too much talent, in my opinion, to have kind of floundered the way that they have. Again, I understand the absence that Satu was. She's got to get healthy. She's got to be consistently healthy.
Mhm.
Away from that, though, and you knew for the most part that she wasn't coming back until post Olympics. I feel like there should have been some, like, what is the plan
Until she get
until
back.
she kind of gets here?
Right.
Last
Keep
year,
you
Dallas
afloat.
that last year Dallas's defensive rating was 103.5. As it like that was their defensive rating this year, which is not great. That's not
Right.
good at all. This year
Right.
they were 111.7. Last year they gave up 14.7 points off of turnovers. This year they gave up 18.2 points off of turnovers. Dallas
That's a
has
whole quarter of point. That's a whole
man,
quarter.
Yeah, it is.
bro,
Yeah.
like,
Whole quarter worth of points that you literally just said here.
just passing away, right? So I have been, as a Satu fan, as someone who has like a great appreciation for Enrique, and I do think that someone like an Enrique deserves the level of caliber that someone like a Satu is. I feel like they are a similar tier of player in their respective positions, to where as a duo, you gotta we gotta figure out why is it not working. And so I've been disappointed in Dallas this year, even given Satu's absence. They've really hurt me. Dallas is one of the teams that I have enjoyed watching because of the variety in their front court. I appreciate being able to bring in a 7-footer in my starters and off of my bench, big body, stout. But this season, I was really, really disappointed, fairly overwhelmed with the Dallas Wings. Getting a new facility too, like, come on, we gotta,
no, for real. I don't know. I can't think of nothing that really disappointed me this year. I really like, kind of like, well, I can't even back that up. Like, that was a good one. The Dallas Wings would have been the one I would have picked because I just
stressed me out.
I don't know. I don't have one. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I'm gonna piggyback on the Dallas Wings. Yes, that's mine. That's mine too.
Also, also,
and is
what's that? What's the gift? The little old lady in the shower cap. She's like,
oh yeah,
and is.
Oh man, yes, yes.
It's before we moonwalk away from this. I feel like we also have not talked about what happened to the ticket prices.
Girl, that's another. We can have like a good in-depth about what are our priorities here. What are we trying to do moving forward? Because
I don't know if if they really want their audience looking like Wall Street.
They do.
They do.
I don't think they. Well, here's the thing. I think they do, but they. I think they do, but they don't.
They don't. That's not.
You understand what I'm saying? I think they do, but they don't. And I think that, especially like the last couple of years, that we've started like going to games more frequently. And I've noticed from the first time we went as a family up until this last time that we went as a family, and there has been a noticeable price hike. To the point where like I didn't know if I'm going to see the Liberty or if I'm going to see the shaky ass Nets. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's if you intend to prosper and grow the game is one thing, but you also have to remember that it comes with yes, Leche.
I'm sorry, I'm reading
your
chat.
right.
I'm sorry.
Yes, that's my guy. That's my guy. He absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
God, the chat. My fault, Tim. My fault. The chat messed me up with that one.
You good? No, you good. He's right. He's right. So
he is right. No, he's right.
I don't know what the plan is as to, because I get it. I've had people say to me, it's not that expensive. All you got to do is just sit nosebleed and X, Y, and Z. But what if I don't want to? And I
No.
get it. But what if I don't want to? What if I want a decent seat that doesn't cost
Well,
me?
then you're gonna pay this decent price.
And the
Right.
price ain't decent. If
And the
the
price-
ticket price is more than my car payment, that's a problem.
Yeah. You've seen
Yeah.
they've had so many people like denounce their season tickets because it's just been such a drastic price hike. I feel like the New York season tickets are somewhere in like the
Yes.
like I feel like I saw someone say like their season ticket is like 10K now. And
I can see that.
it's like,
Yeah.
what is it that we're trying to prioritize in your growing of things? In order to grow, you gotta growing is a continued like adding on to what you already
Yeah.
have.
Mhm.
You as you're trying to like stack on to what you have, you're going to start losing the foundation of what
Right.
it is that you have while you're pricing these people out.
Yeah.
What is it that we're really wanting to have our crowds look like? What are our priorities in this increase in viewership?
Yeah.
No, yeah, dead ass. Because I used to be able to like just pull up to Sky games if I wanted to sit courtside. It was no problem. If I wanted to sit, in the 100 section, or I wanted to sit right behind a bench, no problem. When I was out of town this year in New York, buddy of mine, I'm just so lucky enough to even be in this business for somebody to be like, yo, I got a ticket for you. So I go find out the price of the courtside ticket for the Liberty game.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't understand how people are going to be able to do this. You can't go from a courtside ticket being $200 and then now it's $5, $6, $7, $8, $9. What? You can't grow. That's not growing. You just threw it out the roof now. Like, oh yeah, everybody's coming now. We can just no, you can't do that.
And none of these conversations should be taken as a reflection of like to say that these women aren't worth this. Like
Yes,
Right.
it's not that at all.
Let's make sure we say that. That is not
Yes.
what we're saying.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying at
Get their
all.
money. We want them to get their shares of
Right.
all of that. But like, no, it's not sustainable.
And I
It was
view
this-
this as the only family sport at this point.
That's exactly what I was about to say. That was the last sporting
This is
event
it.
you could take your whole family to. You
Right.
can spend $100 to $200 to get in. That's still not
Yep.
bad because you go to NBA games, it's $200 a piece to get in. So it's like that was the last thing we had. So it's like now it's all corporate. You know, and then like even just going, I don't know, like you going to these games now, like you see, you look at the crowd, look who's sitting behind the basket, look who's sitting courtside now. It wasn't like that. So now, because who can afford it? Even, some people might say, well, $500 not that bad for a ticket. And I always tell people, man, if you got it, if you want to see somebody close, spend it.
Right.
But that's not for everybody to do. That's a one-time thing.
Exactly.
Like, you can't just expect season tickets to go from, let's say you getting 2 tickets for season tickets, you spend $1,200 for the year. Now you got to spend $5,000. Come on, man. You can have these tickets back. Each, you can have these tickets back. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So it's not fair, really. To like we said, we want them. The women deserve it. But it's like how you doing the consumers out of nowhere is like, come on, man. Like your price gouging because you know it's a big thing now. We all going to see it. Everybody wanted, especially when Caitlyn coming to town. Oh my God, it's just
sidebar, real quick, and we'll shift to our last topic. So the first game of the season here was Indiana versus New York, and I just so happened before the season started, I looked and I said, "Oh, it's my birthday weekend. All right, let's go." But they didn't have like the schedule, like it was there. And I said, okay, all right, I guess let's just go and get these tickets, whatever. Then it's Indiana, right? But mind you, I'd already got those tickets. We didn't know it was Indiana, but I had already had my tickets. Can I tell you the monies that was offered to me?
I already know.
For your tickets?
For my 3 tickets that I couldn't take because you know why? Jordan already said Jordan was going to the game. She wasn't trying to hear about how somebody was
none of that.
Right.
somebody offered us $700 a ticket.
I already know. I already know.
And I looked, and Jordan said, "I want to go to the game." And
like,
I
little girl, if
hard.
you want in this world, I'd come up on.
Woo! I swallowed hard.
Yeah.
And we was at that game.
Yeah.
That's how and they know that's what's going to happen. And they know that's what's going to happen.
Right. You're not gonna you're not gonna make your kids cry over this. Like, you're gonna do what you can do to make them happy. And that was, and in that moment when those people offered me money for that ticket, I knew then moving forward I was in trouble. I was in trouble, and here I am trying to figure out how we're gonna make all this happen with New York prices, because that's where I'm at.
Man.
So I don't know.
Real quick before you move on, I just want I want the W. One thing I want the W to do is make sure the security is good for these women.
Yeah.
Make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I've had all of them. I had a incident where I went to a Sky Aces game, and this is a couple years ago. And that after the game, I don't know if you've been to the stadium. After the game, the away team stayed right across at the hotel, right across from Wintrust. So me and my buddy, we outside, we walk after the game, and I'm seeing jerseys. I'm like, man, like, people waiting on the Aces to come out or something. Ain't no security. There's no security outside. Asia, Kelsey Plum. This is when Bill Lambier was still coaching. They walking up out the back, going. I'm like, there's nobody outside. I was able to just walk up to her and be like, "Can my buddy take a picture of me and you?" And she said yes. But now I say all to say that should never happen. I don't care how popular or not popular the league is. I should not be able to walk up to a pro player and say, "Can I take a photo with you?" That should never happen. And I'm hoping now that it's getting popular that this is going to change for them, because these women, you should not be able to just walk up to them. No pro athlete, especially no woman. I should not, as a man, should not be able to just walk up to her. I'm not part of no staff. I'm not a family member or nothing like that. So hopefully going forward with all the popularity that these women get this proper security that they have. Because Angel has talked about it. Fans walking up to her cars and shit. So it's like, it has to be done. It's dangerous. You don't know what people are going to do. With Stan fans, oh my God, you don't know what's going to happen. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
No, you're absolutely right. Excuse me. And we're gonna round this out with our last topic. I want each of you give me your most intriguing first round matchup. That's what we're gonna do.
Go ahead, Bon. You go first. I just put on the spot.
No, you're fine. I'm going. I will go. I'm looking at the matchups now. It's between. Oh, see, they're all so intriguing though, because
they are.
Ooh, especially given this little beef that's circulating with the Aces in Seattle.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Indiana, Connecticut.
Yeah. That's the one.
I'm gonna go Indiana.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one. That's the one.
I think if Indiana was going to catch a team in the first round, it'd be Connecticut. It could be Connecticut.
I hear people say that, and I understand that, but I feel like Connecticut as a group got too much pride.
They do.
I
feel like
so.
they're not gonna let. I feel like they're not gonna let that shit happen.
So. Right.
Yeah, I feel like they're not gonna let that shit happen.
Right.
But if it was
you ain't gonna
happen,
get my cornbread.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Exactly. But that's very. I'm with you, Bon. Right. I'm with you. All of them are intriguing. All of them.
Get your hand on my
really are.
Yeah, you're not coming at us. You can't have my cornbread.
You can't. You gonna eat? Yeah, I'm sure I am.
I sure am.
That movie to Netflix. I gotta watch it. It's all timer. All timer. But yeah, I'm with you. That's the most intriguing one. But they all are. Like, you got Minnesota, Phoenix. I mean,
yes, that's my second one. That's my second.
So that's gonna be.
All right, let's pause right there. Minnesota, Phoenix. All right, we've already established how dominant Minnesota has been.
Mm-hmm.
One thing from each of you. What can Phoenix do to win? Jay.
I think for them to win, Kai is going to have to be the one that's going to be like they're going to really play through. Let her be. I know you got DT and stuff, but let Kai be Kai. I don't think they can stretch this to game 3. I think, even though I feel like Minnesota is going to win this series, I think if you play through Kai that dog, I love her. So I just feel like she's gonna be ready for this matchup. And I think if you just play through her, you're gonna have a chance. Not that they're gonna win, but they got a chance.
Right. Okay.
I think Phoenix has to defend. I think Minnesota's offense is so fluid. It's so well connected. It's really dynamic. I think Phoenix is going to have to defend. And on the offensive end, I think that they're going to have to be able to probe at the connectivity of Minnesota's defense.
You ain't lying about that because they do play on the string. That's the dangerous part of Minnesota.
Yeah, they play as one.
And the way a lot of people don't. They move. It's such a small thing, but it makes such an impact. They move on the flight of the ball. While the ball is in air, they are
air.
Yes. And you can't end up with it. They already in your face.
Yep.
Yes.
And you know,
the first defender in the back line.
The ball is faster than
feet, faster than what?
Man.
Oh yeah, pass is faster than all.
They are passing and they are moving. And
they are. No. You're right.
Listen, they passing and moving. Do they play BG off the floor?
I think that they try to. I don't know that it's successful. If it is successful, then I think that bodes poorly for Phoenix.
Right.
Oh yeah. She has to be out there. Definitely. They definitely, like you said, I'm with it. They're definitely gonna try. They're definitely gonna try. For sure. You got no choice.
They're pulling her away from the basket and then they cut and they move too well. Like
Yep.
I'm with you.
I can't say offhand their backline defense. If they pull her away, who's that defender that drops down?
It's probably Cloud as their like point forward, big wing, 4-ish defender. But now you force a rotation, and again,
right,
Minnesota moves it too well. So
okay.
They do.
Okay. And Indiana, Connecticut. Who draws the assignment?
Dejanay.
Yes.
Dejanay. At least to start. But I also think that Indy is prepared for that or expects that.
Right.
But I think it's hard.
Or as Jordan says, why does that coach look like that?
Who's coach?
Who's coach you talking about?
Indiana.
Come on,
oh man.
Because she does the lean down and she's
Chrissy be stressed out. Stephanie White be over there going at it too. Like it's gonna be
stress.
Chrissy fighting for her job. They got Lisa Bluter from Iowa on standby.
Sitting on side with the Karen. She was in Chicago with the Karen. I said, what is happening?
Yeah, the Karen. The assistant coach. Yep.
Right. I'm like, what is going? No, not her name is Karen, but the Karen.
I know.
Like, what is going on? Why y'all here? I was so confused when I saw them. No. I was like, yo, let me get that extra sandwich just in case this one ain't enough. Like they are like ready.
Right.
No,
they're like ready. It's like vultures, man. Christy, I'm pulling for you.
They are. No, she's ready for that phone call. She's ready for that phone call.
The way that they have looked the second half of the season, I think she's deserving of
at least another season. At least. We haven't said it yet, and we're gonna end on this one because I'm not even. We're not going into the Aces and we're not going into Seattle, even though the rumor is the Aces ducking the fever. They want Seattle, this, that, and the third. I've seen no proof of any of this. I've seen no video. So none of that matters to me.
Right. They were saying because they rested the core four. Right. They not trying to move. Right. Girl, them people needed rest. Cut it out.
Exactly.
Yes, they did.
So we don't even need to touch on that. Yeah. But we're gonna end it with the matchup that I think nobody cares about because they think it's a wash. But
Atlanta's New York.
Atlanta, New York. This is where we're gonna end it, because while on paper, yes, it's a wash. We're gonna be real honest. On paper, it's a wash. But the game ain't played on paper.
Yeah.
So what does Atlanta need to do to at least get it to game 3? And y'all can take a second, because there might be thinking involved.
I think they have to defend. I don't know that they can match New York's offensive output when New York is clicking.
Yeah. My other thing about New York is watching them is that they would definitely play down to their opponent.
Yes.
Especially when they get up big.
Yes.
As long as New York don't do that, I thought this is gonna be a 2-0 up out of here, move on to the next round, New York. I don't really think there's nothing Atlanta can do, honestly, on paper or not, in this situation. As long as New York don't play down to their opponent, and once they up by 20, 30, don't let they put up the gas, they're good. I just don't.
It's fun because they were each other's last opponent, and like New York or Atlanta won by like however, but that ain't got nothing to do with what
right.
Yes.
Right. That's why I didn't even bring up that last matchup, because that has nothing to do with what happens on Sunday.
No, nothing.
I mean, I want it to be a competitive series. Like I would love to see Atlanta stretch it to make it a 3-game series. I just don't know, like you said, how they can keep up with the firepower if their defense isn't on the string, because their defense has to be on the string to even slow them down. So if they don't have the firepower, I just don't know. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah. You got Jonquel and her
stretchability,
and then you can go and play you can play Stewie down low if you want to. Then you got Kayla Thornton and Kennedy Burke. Like New York has a group. Yep. New York has like bench presences that I don't know that Atlanta can really do too much with. I would love to see a big Ryan Howard series. Like I think this would be a good kind of not breakout series, but she's still
coming
young.
Out party.
The coming out party, right? She's so off. I've tweeted this a bunch. Like when they top, like I think Ryan can top out as a type of offensive talent and like with the versatility that like Stewie, same length, same size, so fluid, such a handle, stroking it, pure. I would love to see Ryan get off.
I like that. I do like that. You know what? I would love for her to see her get off, even if they lose, like they get blown out.
Right.
But I still want her to have a good series. Period. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to go into the off season and next season and be like, man, I don't know about her, man. She still looked bad even in the loss. They couldn't even count on her. So I'm with you on that. You know what I'm saying?
I pulled the matchup on my phone. Now I click on the Atlanta New York matchup, and the first thing is, do the Dream have a shot versus the Liberty and Sabrina?
Oh, see, they ain't got to do that.
They're wrong for that.
You ain't got to do that, Craig. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that.
And we did the same. We did the same thing.
Listen. I said
matchup played on paper. I think they have a shot.
Listen, if I always say this, if you make it there, you got a shot.
You do.
Yeah.
Especially in the best of 3.
In the best of 3, because that's the difference. You don't have 5 games. So you literally, if you're New York, you literally don't have you have no opportunity to take your foot off the gas.
To be fucking around, and now you're in a battle in the fourth quarter for no reason.
Exactly. You're in a battle in the fourth quarter in the 3rd game. Like you don't have like there's no wiggle room.
Yeah.
Like there is no wiggle room. Like you have to come out the gate and be dominant. Because if you mess around, because if you mess around and you tie 1-1, it's anybody's game.
And the 3rd game is in Atlanta. The setup is 2-1. It's not 1-1-1. It's 2
so
New
there
York,
you go.
Last one in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
That.
So you really just have to go in there, handle your business,
Yes.
and get it over with.
Be professional.
but
Get it done.
I think
Mhm.
also just for me is that because it has been an exciting season, I want these series to go.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see sweeps
No.
unless it's Ace of Seattle. I don't want to see sweeps.
Yeah. I don't even want that to be a sweep. Like I want to see
No.
Jules.
Mind your business.
Jules.
Mind your business. Mind your
Fair,
She
business.
said, "Mind your
Mind your
business."
Mind your business.
My bad.
Oh, I would love. I would love to see them sweep too, but I'm with you on
Mind your
that tip.
business. Mind your
I'm with
business.
you.
We gotta get some rest. We gotta get some rest on them knees.
Whose knees?
All.
Oh, fair. All right.
All.
You got me.
Everybody that can stand got to get rest on those knees.
No, for real.
Yeah, but no, seriously, I want to see a competitive series out of each series because as we, not to be cliche, but this is also how you grow the game. Fun, spirited games where you're at home, but you feel like you're in it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that's what we get. I'm hoping that regardless of any of the outcomes, all the players make it through the playoffs healthy, happy, safe. And I'm going to say that word again, safe.
Safe.
Physically, mentally.
Yes.
Safe. That's what I want to see. I want to thank the people that stuck around. I want to thank the people that's going to be listening to this tomorrow on their morning drive, in the afternoon, while you making pasta in your kitchen and you don't understand what happened, when it happened, and why it happened. This was take 2. We had technical difficulties. We had internet difficulties, but you know what? Bond and Jay stuck around. I appreciate it. Love them down. We will definitely have Jay back.
Absolutely.
Because I got a feeling we might see some interesting things that happen in this playoff. So we definitely will have Jay back, and y'all know how we do. You are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. Reach out, touch your neighbor, hug your neighbor, love yourself, love everybody, and he'll do it for you every time. Leave with joy.
I was hugging myself. I wasn't doing Wakanda forever. I was just hugging myself.
G, take him out.
I'm in.
Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
Y'all, listen, I promise you, the next time we pop up in here, we will be back to how we used to be. I don't know what happened. This is an anomaly. This will not happen again. We will be fixed, ready, live, and jive. Love y'all. Have a good night. We out.